Hallelujah, hallelujah, hallelujah. Shalom, shalom, family. This is Captain Nathaniel Allah.
And I'm Officer Asher.
Captain Asher now, right?
Oh, dang. Sorry, Slot.
And we hitting you with another
Captain
Wednesday
Asher.
wisdom coming through. Shalom, Danya Allah Bunya Hawada. Good to see you, family. Today we talking about the path of the children, right? The path of how the way we should be leading our children, man. The way we should be training up our children, you know. So we're gonna get into this class, family. And shalom to anybody that's just coming in.
Let's get the book of Colossians chapter 3 and verse 17 to open this up. So before we get it, I want to say shalom, to all the 12 tribes, scattered abroad. And, welcome back to another Wednesday wisdom class. And I know, some of you guys may be curious on why are we doing a class on the path of the children or training up a child, is because we believe wholeheartedly that the children will be the future. And with our children being the future, we have to hold ourselves, or the parents have to hold themselves to a certain level or a standard. We have to be more active with our children now that we're trying to flip our ways. We're trying to come out of single parent households to having both parents in the house, and with raising a child both together. So this is why I'm presenting this class, and this is why I'm showing we're gonna go through this class. And there's some things that I'm gonna need I gotta bring out, because there's certain things that I've seen and I really want to be changed. So let's get the book of Colossians chapter 3 and verse 17 first, and let's start out with that.
This is the book of Colossians chapter 3 and verse 17. And whatsoever you do in word or deed, do all in the name of Mashiach Yahushua, giving thanks to the power and the Father by him.
So whatsoever we do in word and deed, we all do through Mashiach Yahushua, and we give honor unto the Most High through him. So all our works and all our deeds, all our works and all our deeds should be in the name of the Most High. And we should be doing everything to our full potential and our full giving ourselves, what's the right word? We should be giving it our all. There we go. Giving it our all towards everything we do according to the Most High. Even raising our little ones, we should be giving it our all. So let's read the book of Colossians chapter 2 and verse 8. 2 and verse 8.
And shalom down to Israel, and shalom, brother Richard Morantis, man. All praise be to the power of Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob. This is the book of Colossians chapter 2, verse 8. Beware lest any man spoil you through philosophy and vain deceit, after the tradition of men, after the rudiments of the world, and not after Hamashiach.
We can't be fooled or bamboozled by the vain philosophies of this world. The philosophies of this world want us to leave our little ones, to forget our little ones and worry about ourselves, to be more concerned with our own well-being rather than our children's well-being. They want us to prefer ourselves over everything else, over responsibilities, over integrity, over consistency in everything that we do. So we can't be fooled and bamboozled. So we got to go through these precepts, and we got to go through these scriptures, because this is our life and this is our well-being. Through these scriptures, we are able to make ourselves rise back to the standard of being kings, princesses, and princes of the earth once again. We hold a standard of kingship as long as we're keeping these law, statutes, and commandments. As long as we're dwelling with the Most High, we will continually be riding the high places of the earth. We won't be fooled by vain philosophies and deceits. But let's get the book of 2 Timothy chapter 2 and verse 15. But how do we allow ourselves not to get spoiled? This is one of the ways. Let me get the book of 2 Timothy chapter 2 and verse 15.
This is the book of 2 Timothy chapter 2 and verse 15. Study to show thyself approved unto the Most High.
Do what?
Study to show thyself approved unto the Most High. a
Mm-hmm.
workman that needed not to be ashamed, rightly dividing the word of truth.
Come on. We got to study to show ourselves approved. Rightly dividing the word. What does that dividing the word mean? Being able to break down the scriptures. Because when you divide anything, what are you? If you're dividing anything, money, responsibilities, what are you do? You're breaking it down to what? Its simplest form. That is what we're doing. We're gonna be bringing these scriptures out to its simplest form, so you can get understanding and knowledge and wisdom through the scriptures. So you won't get hemmed up when somebody say something crazy that is not according or contrary onto the Bible. That it's okay to be a single baby mama. It's okay to be a single father, which is not the case. We should be dwelling with one another. And it's also, and I also want to address a certain point that it's been on my spirit for a long time that I really wanted to address. But let me get the book of Isaiah, chapter 58 and verse 1 first. Because as a servant of the Most High, it is my job, it is our job, Captain Nathaniel and myself, it is our job to bring out certain issues that are going on. Correct certain behaviors. Matter of fact, it is all our job to snuff out bad habits or behaviors within each other. We gotta hold each other to a certain accountability in this truth, and it is our job to do that. We can't be lax with doing that. Because if we don't address certain issues, how are we going to ever fix the problem? All throughout these years, from all these years past, nobody has stood up and say, let's hold ourselves to accountability. But now we are doing it. Now we're going to do it. Now we're making that step. Through the power of the Most High, through a Mashiach Yahushua, who the world ignorantly calls Jesus Christ. So this is my job, and this is Captain Thayala's job, and all of our jobs to be doing this. Let me get the book of Isaiah chapter 58 and verse 1. Bring that out.
This is the book of Isaiah chapter 58 verse 1. Cry aloud.
What?
Cry aloud.
Mm-hmm.
Spare not.
Mm-hmm.
Lift up thy voice like a trumpet,
mm-hmm.
and show my people their transgression.
It's a cry. Oh, Salah, go ahead.
And the house of Jacob their sins.
It is our job to cry aloud and spare not. Lift up thy voice like a trumpet and show our people their transgressions. This is our job. And the reason of us doing that is to shed a light on those dark things, to finally make you realize or come to a realization of saying, I need to change. I need to repent. Because when Christ was on the scene, all the whole time he was doing was shedding light on people, so they know that the darkness that's within them, so they realize the darkness that is within them, and finally make themselves think and say, I need to change. And this is one of those moments, because I have an issue concerning with with my brothers. We always, we always get on the sisters, about them, being wicked and doing things and so what and so what and so forth. But now it's the brothers' turn to finally get those lashes, those 40 stripes, those 100 stripes. It is finally the brothers' time. And one of the issues or odds I have is that I do not like how the way we are raising our children. I don't like the lackadaisical spirit that the brothers have when it comes to raising our kids. I'm going to let that sit there for a little minute, and I'm going to repeat myself. I don't like the way how some of our brothers are dealing with raising our children in the truth. Why, Asher? Why do you feel this way? Why? I know people are wondering, why do you feel a certain type of way? Why are you saying this? It's because there's things I have seen amongst my brethren that I don't like, because we are supposed to be held to a certain standard. Our brothers should be held to a certain standard. If we are the leaders, if we are supposed to be called the leaders of our community, we have to be leaders at home. I don't believe wholeheartedly that we should be that we should be having our women doing a lot of the burdens of taking care of our children, man. I've seen where some brothers, for service, they getting out the car and not worrying about the children. They go find themselves a seat, having they kids, having a wife trying to figure out how their kids is gonna walk into the congregation. She dealing with them. They making all this noise, hoopla, running around. That's madness, man. That's your seed. That's your children. Why are you taking a seat? Why are you sitting before your wife takes a seat? You should be helping your wife out. This is one of the issues or odds that I have with my brothers. Because we have to address these things. If we don't, who else will? Should I continue to allow our brothers, or should I continue to allow fathers that I see in the truth to be lackadaisical with their kids and raising them and taking care of them and showing them the right way? It's madness. Let me get the book of Proverbs chapter 22 and verse 6.
This is the book of Proverbs chapter 22 and verse 6.
Come on.
Train up a child in the way he should go.
What?
Train up a child in the way he should go.
Uh-huh.
And when he is old, he will not depart from it.
He will not do what?
He will not depart from it.
So he don't depart from it. Train up a child in the way they should go. You should be teaching your child in the way they should be going, which is what? The scriptures. He should be seeing, your children should see you present in everything you do. They should see you trying to help your wife, trying to get the kids out the car. Your sons and your daughters are going to be seeing that. And we don't want to be teaching our children the wrong way. Oh, it's the woman. Our brothers like to say, "Oh, it's the woman's job to be doing all of that." It's not always the woman's job to be doing that. She is a helpmeet. Don't get me wrong, but you can't abuse that helpmeet. You can't make her almost a slave. You gotta help. It's a partnership. It's a two-way street. You can't just be the father of the head just because you work 80 hours a week. You work at 80 hours a week. You don't got to deal with your children. That's madness, man. That leaves no excuse. You should be there helping your wife out at all times. Easing the burden. It should be an even exchange. Help for help. Because it'll be less burdensome on your wife, as well as she will make things less burdensome for you. So let me get the book of Deuteronomy chapter 6 and verse 3. Because we talk about train up a child in the way they should go. What should we be training them up in?
This is book of Deuteronomy chapter 6 verse 3. Hear therefore, O Israel, and observe to do it, that it may be well with thee. Wait, let me start at verse 2. That thou mightest fear the Lord thy power, to keep all his statutes and his commandments which I command thee, thou and thy son and thy son's son, all the days of thy life, and that thy days may be prolonged. Go
on, read on, slop. Just go on.
Hear therefore, O Israel, and observe to do it, that it may be well with thee, and that ye may increase mightily, as the Lord power of thy fathers hath promised thee, in the land that floweth with milk and honey. Hear, O Israel, the Lord our power is one Lord, and thou shalt love the Lord thy power with all thine heart, and with all thy soul, and with all thy
Mhm.
might. And these words which I command thee this day shall be in thine heart, and thou shalt teach them diligently unto thy children, and shalt talk of them when thou sittest in thine house, and when thou walkest by the way, and when thou liest down, and when thou risest up.
Con, that's it on that. This is what we should be teaching our children. That we should be walking in the commandments. And the one thing that I'm seeing here that's very profound is basically saying your child gotta be at your hip. As a potential, listen, I'm gonna say this because I know brothers be like, man, why brothers bringing this out and they don't got no rib? Why they bringing it out? Why Yahushua was doing it? Did he have a rib? No, but he was teaching our people. So so I digress with that. So basically, this verse 7, it's like basically that child gotta be at your hip. Your child gotta be at your hip. Teaching them about the scriptures, showing them what it is to have discipline, consistency, integrity. Your child gotta be by your side. And one day, most high willing, when I have a child, my child is gonna be by my side. On my hip. They ain't gonna know what it's like for me not to be around. Because I'm gonna always be there. And we gotta be like that according to the scriptures. Our children should be almost at our hip. Even for the brothers. Your son should be sitting right beside you. When you doing a prayer, you should have him standing doing a prayer with you. Teaching your son these things. Teaching your daughters these things. I have literally seen where brothers is literally chilling at the crib, not teaching their daughters or not teaching their sons about the law, statute, commandments of the Most High. That's insane. It's sad. It's a sad spirit. To see brothers that got children and they not teaching them according to the law, statute, commandments. I've seen these things. I've witnessed these things. And it is not a proud moment for me to see my brothers being so lax and so lackadaisical with our children. Not teaching them according to the scriptures. Not at least giving them words of wisdom through the scriptures at least. This is why I'm feeling I feel some type of way about this. Seriously. You know what I'm saying? So let me get the book of Salah. Let me get the book of 1 Timothy chapter 5 and verse 8. Because I really want to get into this because this is an issue that I found that I highly dislike. That I want our brothers to be more attentive. I want our brothers to be more proactive in raising our children, not just the mothers. You know what I'm saying? Some of these mothers, they do a great job with holding it down. I see it. I see it. Some of these mothers do a great job, and one thing too, I want to make known, and I'm not saying this is all brothers. This is not for all brothers. Oh, real quick. But if it affects your spirit, then it might be for you. If it don't bother you, if this bothers you a little bit and it make you uneasy, this might be for you, and you might need to hear this, man. Because we gotta set the standard again. We gotta represent for the Most High and be real men. We can't be letting our rib do everything. Let's get the book of 1 Timothy chapter 5 and verse 8.
Come on, this is the book of 1 Timothy chapter 5 verse 8. But if any provide not for his own, and especially for those of his own house, he hath denied the faith and is worse than an infidel.
Good. If a man does not provide, and that doesn't have to necessarily mean financially neither. If you don't provide scripturally, spiritually, if you're not spiritually feeding them, you might as well be an infidel, because you ain't teaching no commandments. You letting your kids do whatever you want to do. You letting your kids believe whatever they want to believe. You letting the school system raise your children rather than you raising your children. And we cannot have that. We cannot have the school system raising our children anymore. Look at what the school system has taught our children nowadays. They're literally teaching them man pon man, woman pon woman, and it's okay. This is what the school system is teaching our children. We as a community, as a whole, we have relied upon the school system to raise our children. And it has caused nothing but further destruction upon our people. So where we believe any and everything the school system says, and our parents and a lot of Israelite parents are not involved with their children's academics. I was given a chance through the Most High to speak with a teacher of a public school, and I asked her, what is the percentage of that you see of mostly Black, Hispanic, and Native American parents being attentive or being proactive with their children's academic? What is the percentage? You know what she told me? Less than 20%. That's insane. That is madness. Less than 20% of the so-called Blacks, Hispanics, and Native Americans, that what she know of, is less than 20%. And she told us, and she was able to tell us that, most times the parent, like when the kids are acting up and the parents get a call to correct the bad behavior, the parents shrug it off. They say, oh, that's your job. That's what you're supposed to do. But on the contrary, we should be correcting our children. We should really be on top of them and really be on point. But I gotta get on this lazy spirit. Let me get the book of Proverbs chapter 20 and verse 4.
Con, I got a precept really quick. Let me get Sirach 30 and 4 real quick.
You said what?
Sirach 30 and 4, or Ecclesiasticus 30 and 4.
Con, I was gonna get there.
Oh, okay.
I had that in the clip.
Con, it's all good.
That was gonna be the next one.
What was the precept you asked?
Let me get that Proverbs 20 and 4.
Let me get Proverbs 20 and 4. Okay, Con. Mm-hmm. The sluggard will not plow by reason of the cold. Mm-hmm. Therefore shall he beg in harvest and have nothing.
Huh. So read that one more time, Salah.
Okay. The sluggard will not plow by reason of the cold. Mm-hmm. Therefore shall he beg in harvest and have nothing.
Huh. It say that the sluggard shall not plow when it's cold. He gonna find an excuse. He gonna say, I don't feel like it. I don't feel like raising my child. I don't feel like teaching my child this. I don't feel like it because I got too many bills. I gotta work 80 hours. I gotta work 95 hours. I can't do it. I don't got the time. I can't read my children a bedtime story because I gotta work 80 hours a week. I gotta work 40 hours a week. My back, my neck, and my back. This is how our people like to react. And then when the harvest comes, when it's time to harvest, they don't receive nothing. Because you wasn't proactive with raising your children. When it's time for you, when you get weak and it's time for your children when it's time for you to reap what you sow, your children ain't gonna want to deal with you. You wasn't around. Mama was around doing most of the work. All you was doing was going to work. Why should I help you? And you see that sluggard spirit because you decided to lay back, and you know I'm too tired to talk to my children right now. I just got off work. I'm too tired to do this. I'm not gonna deal with their bad behavior. I'm not gonna teach them commandments today. I'm not gonna go through the Torah portion and read it with my kids so they understand. Because you don't want to do that, so when them kids grow up and they be wicked monsters, that's on you. When you finally need that help, that harvest, when it's time to reap what you harvest, you ain't gonna have nothing. Your kids ain't gonna honor you. Your kids gonna disrespect you. They gonna be doing the things in the world. They ain't gonna be listening to you. They ain't gonna have time for you. You know what I'm saying? So that's that sluggard. Like I want my brothers to get out that sluggard spirit when it comes to raising up our kids, man. I want them to get out that lackadaisical spirit, not being attentive to the kids, to your own child at that. Your own seed. That's a copy and paste to you.
God.
If you don't love yourself, listen, I love myself a lot. So if I have a kid, oh man, it's over with. That's 10 times worse. I got a little mini me. And me and my mini me gonna be right. He gonna be right by my hip all day, every day. When I get off work, I'm gonna be glad to see my son or my daughter. We gonna be lit. Teaching them the commandments and all. And they're gonna really honor and I hope and I pray and I hope. You know, I hope and I pray. I pray to the Most High that I'm able to have children, that I'm fruitful and I have honorable kids. Because I know that I'm gonna love my children to the death. I know I'm gonna do my best to my ability. I may be talking because I don't got kids right now, but one day when I do, I feel like I'm in my soul, I'm gonna be a great father onto my kids. And I want my brothers to be great fathers onto their kids. I want them to be the example to our kids and teach our kids to be better than what we were. Imagine you set a great standard and then you got to tell your child, be better than me. That's a high bar, but we got to set the bar high. If we don't set the bar high, how we going to gain anything in this world, right? Am I wrong? So let's get that Sirach 30. Let's get that Sirach 30.
This is the book of Sirach, chapter 30, and verse. You want to start at verse 3 or 4?
Matter of fact, let's start at 1, man.
Okay, Khan. He that loveth his son causeth him oft to feel the rod, that he may have joy of him in the end.
Khan, you gotta hit him with the. You gotta hit him with the. You know what I'm saying?
Khan.
You gotta catch him. You gotta hit him with the whoopty whoop. Hit him with the smackdown, the rock bottom, the Batista bomb, the spear, the people's elbow, from time to time. Because if you really love your child, you're gonna chastise them. Because you know when they step outside, they are a representation of who you are. When they act the fool, they're not gonna say what the heck is going on with Asher's son. They're gonna say what the heck wrong with Asher.
Come.
They're gonna rebuke me first before they rebuke my child. So I'm gonna rebuke you. I'm gonna rebuke that spirit before I even let them even get to talk about you and me, because you're a representation of me. Let's read on.
Verse 2. He that chastiseth his son shall have joy in him, and shall rejoice of him among his acquaintance.
Come on. You getting on your son case, you showing him what discipline is. When he make a mistake, you get on him quick about it. You tell him you're doing wrong, get right. When he get around your partners, he gonna be walking in a respectful manner. Your homeboy's gonna say, or the sister's gonna say, "Hey, I love y'all kids. I love your child." Because he's such a respectful and well-mannered child. He's such a respectful young man, or you got a respectful young daughter. They're gonna be looking at you and giving you the praise. They're gonna be honoring you because you're doing what you gotta do. You're not being lax. You're not being a sluggard when it comes to dealing with your child. Let's read on.
He that teacheth his son grieveth the enemy. And
What?
He that teacheth his son grieveth the enemy.
Mm-hmm.
And before his friends he shall rejoice of him.
Good. He that teacheth his son grieveth the enemy. And we all know who the enemy is. These other nations. When we finally decide to say, let's be proactive with our children. Let me take care of my child. Let me help my wife, who is my helpmeet, and let me be attentive and proactive in my child's life, analyzing my children's behaviors and their habits. We grieve the enemy when we do that. When we stand on business, we grieve the enemy. Why? It's because now in the school system, when they try to teach our children about Halloween or about Thanksgiving, your children is cutting everybody up in the classroom. You're going to be getting a phone call about your child saying that everybody going to hell because they celebrating Halloween. This is what you doing when you correcting your child, when you disciplining your child, when you showing love and being proactive. You grieve the enemy. You grieve all these other nations because you getting them on point. You making them uphold a standard. Read on.
Verse 4. Oh no, I'll start at verse 3 again. He that teacheth his son grieveth the enemy, and before his friends he shall rejoice of him. Though his father die, yet he is as though he were not dead. For he hath left one behind him that is like himself.
Good. You should be teaching your son. You should basically be teaching your son the things that you doing. And you gotta not be lax. You can't be a sluggard. You can't be laid back when your child act the fool. You gotta correct these habits immediately. You gotta show your son what it looks like to really see love in the household, what it really means to be a husband in the house. To really know when you look at your wife and your wife look at you, that they can see the love in your eyes for each other. So when he gets older, when you pass, you got a remnant of yourself on this earth that's keeping the commandments, that's willing to correct his people, that's willing to die for his people if the enemy ever come across them. That he's not gonna let no other nation harm his brother or his sister in the truth. This is what we doing, and this is what we gotta keep doing. This is why I'm bringing this class out. It's very important. Read on.
While he lived, he saw and rejoiced in him, and when he died, he was not sorrowful. He left behind him an avenger against his enemies, and one that shall requite kindness to his friends.
You leaving an avenger. You're leaving a warrior or a fighter to defend you, to defend your forefathers. And this is what we're doing today. When we go out to camp, when we go to Shabbat service, we are defending our forefathers. We're proving them right. We're showing them every single Shabbat, every time we crack open the Bible, every time we study to show thyself approved, every time when we correct our children's bad habits and ways, we are proving our forefathers right, that we are the chosen people, that we are the seed of Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob. This is what we're doing. Read on.
He that maketh too much of his son shall bind up his wounds,
Mm-hmm.
and his bowels will be troubled at every cry.
Mm-hmm.
And horse not broken becometh headstrong, and a child left to himself will be willful.
Con, you cannot leave your child to himself. You can't leave. It's like an untamed horse. We can't leave our child by themselves. So what does that mean? That they have to be by our side at all times. Just like in Deuteronomy 6 and 7. When thou liest down, when thou risest up, when thou walkest in the way. That means you're around your child as much as possible. They're at the hip side. And you gotta be teaching them. You gotta be correcting them, helping them, guide them. Because if we don't, and you don't, you're basically in transgression. Because you're not doing what you're supposed to be doing. Let's read on.
And horse not broken becometh headstrong, and the child left to himself will be willful.
Mm-hmm.
Talk of a child, and he shall make thee afraid.
Mm-hmm.
Play with him, and he will bring thee to heaviness. Laugh not with him, lest thou have sorrow with him, and lest thou gnash thy teeth in the end.
Con, you can't be playing with your child too much. You can't always be playing with your child all the time. There's times you're gonna have to be. It's a season for everything. It's a season to be playful. It's a season to be serious. You can't be laughing when your child is being rude or disrespectful. When he's saying bad words because he's young, you find it cute. You gotta. Oh, go ahead, Salah.
No, I was just gonna say basically in summary is like, don't be too friendly with your child. You're not there to be your child's friend. You're still there to create order for your child. So you gotta make sure that you're not letting them get out of order and you kind of just like whatever with it, and you kind of just looking at it like it's whatever. And yeah, like even like Sister El Issachar said, don't let them raise themselves. Don't let the world raise them. And Danya also said they're pushing the agenda through our kids, right? So we know that they're pushing this agenda through our kids because they know scriptures just as well as we do. So they know if they train up the kids in their agenda, then it's going to be easier for them in the long run. They're making an investment in our kids. Right. So you want to go back to the precept?
Yeah, come on. Because pretty much chapter 30 all the way down to verse 13 you can't go wrong with it. You know what I'm saying? It's teaching you how we should deal with our kids. Let's read on.
Verse 11. Give him no liberty in his youth, and wink not at his folly. Bow down his neck while he is young, and beat him on the sides while he is a child, lest he wax stubborn and be disobedient unto thee, and so bring sorrow to thine heart.
You're supposed to bow your son's neck down. You're supposed to bow your daughter's neck down, because once they head start getting high, and that neck starts being stretched forth, you gonna have problems. You gonna have problems when they're a teenager. Because them teenage years, you know the son starts smelling himself, the daughter starts feeling herself, because they feel like they starting to be grown. So at a young age, you got to get them right. You got to make them know you don't ever disrespect me. You will never even have a thought of trying to run up against me. It's just like that. It's just like that saying, I brought you into this world and I can take you out of this world. I've heard that one too many times. I brought you into this world and I will definitely take you out. But this is how we should be with our kids, though. There's times to be playful. There's times to be serious. There's times to be there is just times. There's seasons to dealing with your kids. There's time to be patient, and then there's times to correct the behavior right then and there on the spot. So we got to be very attentive. We got to be very on point, and we got to really I want to drill that. I really want to drill that into our brains about being attentive to our kids, being proactive with our kids, and being and really analyzing our children's habits and behaviors and correcting those behaviors and habits. Teaching them good habits and removing the bad habits. And I want my brothers to really be on point with taking care of their kids. I don't want them to be chilling while their rib is dealing with their screaming child in the back. I don't want that. When if anybody with common sense, if you have a son or a daughter and you hear them crying in the back and your rib can't deal with it, please stand up and go try to deal with it, because that's your child. That's your child. Am I wrong for saying that, Nathan?
No, not at all.
Because that's your seed. It don't sit right in my spirit that I see brothers letting they rib go mad trying to deal with 3 kids at one time. You got one kid running around. She holding the other one in her arm. She got the other one sitting right beside her, acting a fool. She trying to correct both of them while she trying to hold one baby in her arm. That's not fair. That's not reasonable. Be a man and be proactive. Step to your kid and get them right. You gotta show them what it means to be a father, to be the husband, to be the man, to wear the pants in the house. Go help your wife, because I guarantee you, when you helping your wife, when it's time, she ain't gonna be so held back of the due benevolence. And that's where, and that's one thing too. Brothers be expecting their wife to give them the due benevolence, but they not being proactive in helping her, so where she's not tired of dealing with them kids. Right, it takes 2 to make them. It takes 2 to raise them. That's the spirit we should be walking in. It takes 2 parties to be raising up these children. You gotta help each other out, because when you help your wife out, your wife noticed that.
Dang, you got stitches in your forehead, brother. Oh man.
Oh man.
That's the balance. That's the balance with the rod now. You're not
right.
All right. Don't give me child stitches. That's crazy.
Right.
Right. Because believe it or not, those type of whoopings where you're using like extension cords and stuff like that, that's like a whip in a way. That comes from these other nations, how they used to whoop us. And we took that same trauma and passed it on until now.
But here's the thing,
you gotta remember, there's a balance. There's a balance.
Right.
Don't destroy your kids. All right. Now you all caught up with CPS.
Right. And also one thing too, when you're disciplining your child, also I want to address too, when you're disciplining your child, you need to tell them what they did wrong. You can't just whoop your child out of frustration because they're not listening. When you whoop your child, give them the knowledge of what they did wrong, so they know, oh, this is wrong. I shouldn't be doing this. At least tell your child, whoop them, let them go to the bed, let them go get the greatest nap of their life. Because once after a good whooping, that nap is well needed. Then after that, you talk to your child and you let them know, hey, the reason I whoop you is because you was acting a fool. You was doing something that I didn't like.
But then you know what Jake already do? They'll whoop you. You wake up, you hungry.
Yeah, bro. That is the most psychological torture you could ever put on a child, bro.
God, did you eat?
That is a psychological move that never fails. You want something to eat? I got a hot plate of food for you.
Mm-hmm. Come on. Sister Issachar brought up a good precept, and ye fathers provoke not your children to wrath, but bring them up in the nurture and admonition of the Lord.
Come on.
You ain't whooping your child so your child can hate you. and have
Right.
wrath against you, you're whooping your child to help them understand.
Right.
And it's a
And that's how
productive
we
whooping.
and that's how we should be. But I want to get that Genesis 20 and that Genesis 2 and 20. Because what is the duties of a wife? Because brothers like to abuse. Some brothers like to abuse that power of the helpmeet. But there's consequences in abusing that power. But I want to know what is that? I want to get that definition of what a wife is, or what an Eve is.
Come on. This is the book of Genesis, chapter 2, verse 20.
Uh-huh.
And Adam gave names to all cattle, and to the fowl of the air, and to every beast of the field. But for Adam there was not found an helpmeet for him.
Mm-hmm.
And the Lord, and the Most High Yahweh caused a deep sleep to fall upon Adam, and he slept. And he took one of his ribs and closed up the flesh instead thereof.
Mm-hmm.
And the rib which the Otto power had taken from man made he a woman, and brought her unto the man. And Adam said, this is now bone of my bones and flesh of my flesh. She shall be called woman, because she was taken out of man.
So that woman is your helpmeet. She's supposed to support. She's supposed to be that support team. When you on Mayday, like I can't do it. My body, like she's supposed to be there to pick up some of the slack that you have. She's supposed to pick up with some of the things that you may be missing. That's her goal. She's not supposed to be doing the whole 10 and whole 9 of everything. When you just sitting there just chilling, I'm gonna relax. I got all work. I did a 9 to 5. I pay all the bills. Nah, man, it takes more than just paying bills, man. When it comes to raising your kids, I get it. You got to pay your bills. We still under captivity. We still, we locked up. You know what I'm saying? But it takes more. It takes more. It just takes more than doing a 9 to 5 to help raise kids, man. You can put a roof over their head. All praises. That's what we got to do. But we got to be very proactive in our kids, talking with our kids, communicating with our kids. That's the big point, or I want to push. Communication with our kids, being proactive with our kids, being attentive. I keep saying these same words, but this is what I'm trying to instill in our people. You know what I'm saying? Let me get the book of Ephesians chapter 5 and verse 25.
It's the book of Ephesians. 1 second. It's the book of Ephesians chapter 5 and verse 25. Mm-hmm. Husbands, love your wives, even as Christ also loved the church and gave himself for it.
We're supposed to be loving our wives. And what does that love look like? What does that love look like? If we go through the scriptures, if you look at how Yahushua was dealing with our people, he was very kind, very nurturing, very supportive, very attentive to what we were doing. He was very empathetic. He was seeing what we were doing, and he was like, you know what? You got to get right. Change your ways. Repent. Very patient, very helpful, very mindful of dealing with us. Whenever he dealt with Israel, it was the majority of the time dealt with kindness and patience. It was always that and supportiveness. He always showed that, no matter what, whether it had to be grievous or whether it was not. He always showed that kindness, that mercy, that love, and that supportiveness, the attentiveness, the care. Like a father, yes. That's what he was doing. So we got to do the same thing for our wives. We got to be mindful. We got to be merciful. We got to be patient. We got to be attentive. We got to be proactive. And all these things with dealing with our wife. You can't just have your wife doing 101 things and then expect her to give you what you want when the pleasure that comes with sleep. And think that you're going to get it. You're not. You gotta really show love to your wife. You really gotta put in that time. You really gotta be proactive with dealing with her. Because if you don't show her that you really love her through your actions with taking care of the kids, with helping out with some of the things she got going on, all she gonna think you to be is nothing but a sorry dude. You know what I'm saying? Let me get the book of Sirach, chapter 25, verse 22.
It's the book of Sirach, chapter 25, verse 22. Mm-hmm. A woman, if she maintain her husband, is full of impudence and much reproach.
When your wife is maintaining or doing a majority of the work in your house, dealing with your kids, she gonna be upset. She gonna be mad as hell at you, and then you're gonna be thinking about, dang dog, my girl a dang demon, dog. She causing me stress. She causing me headache. But you the one that causing that stress and causing the headache. You're not helping around the house. You're not helping with your kids. When the last time you took your kids to the park? When the last time you took your kids out on a little father-child play date or a date with your child? Take them out to eat. Leave the wife at home. Let her chill. You ever thought about doing something like that? She'll appreciate you. She will appreciate you for that. Seeing that you're really being a father, really being attentive to your child. And I also wanted to make a very good point, point too. As being men and as being fathers, we have a very great responsibility. And we have to walk according to the Most High, because if we make that mistake, we could damage our whole household. We can destroy our house by not doing the right things. And I wanted to make that point clear. Let me get the book of Numbers, chapter 16. We're going to start at 1 and go to 3, and then we're going to jump to 33 and 4 to get the consequences of what happened.
You said, what was the book?
Numbers 16 and 1.
Okay, go. It's the book of Numbers, chapter 16 and verse 1. Mm-hmm. Now Korah, the son of Izhar, the son of Kohath, the son of Levi, and Dathan, and Abiram, the sons of Eliab, and On, the sons of Peleth, the sons of Reuben, took men, and they rose up before Moses, and with certain of the children of Israel, 250 princes of the assembly, famous in the congregation, men of renown. And they gathered themselves together against Moses and against Aaron, and said unto them, Ye take too much upon you, seeing all the congregation are holy, every one of them, and the Lord is among them. Wherefore then lift ye up yourselves above the congregation of the Lord.
Fine. So what Korah and the group of Levites and Reubenites got together, they got jealous and prideful in the spirit. They were like, oh, how come Moses and Aaron, they on top? Ain't we all equal? Ain't we all the same? And this is the pride, of this sometimes can be the pride of us as men. We could be like, oh no, I ain't going to Shabbat. I ain't going to Shabbat because of this and that. Walk in the third. My kids gonna stay at the crib. We gonna stay at the crib because I don't want to go. I don't feel like going to Shabbat. I don't feel like being consistent. I don't feel like being disciplined. But this is what happened. But this is what happened as a result of a group of men's foolishness and what happened to their families because of that said foolishness. Let's jump down to verse 33.
Verse 33. They and all that appertained to them went down alive into the pit, and the earth closed them up. And the earth closed upon them, and they perished from among the congregation. And all Israel that are round about them fled at the cry of them, for they said, lest the earth swallow us up also.
They were killed. They were all killed. Their families was killed because of their foolishness as men, leaders of their house. They didn't walk with wisdom. They didn't want to be humble themselves, correct themselves, analyze their ways and their habits, got their family all hemmed up. And sometimes in these stories, we have to apply these to our lives and learn from them and gain wisdom from them. That our mistakes, our wrong, that our misdeeds and our wrongdoings can get our whole family hemmed up. Because you don't want to serve the Most High that one day, the Most High could get you in a car accident and kill your whole family. Because you decided not to do what the Most High commanded you to do, to gather together in a holy congregation. Separate yourselves from the heathen. Nah, you wanted to stay at the crib because of pride, because of sluggardness, because of being undisciplined. You got your family end up. So this is what it means to be a leader. This is what it means to be a father. This is what it means to hold a certain standard or responsibility in our household. And I wanted to stress this, and I wanted to be very known. I had to bring this class out because it was bothering my spirit to see my brothers not taking full advantage of having their children and having their families, and really utilizing them and really putting an effort into everything they do with their family. The whole nation was split even onto this day, all because of Solomon's con. David lost his first child with Bathsheba because of his sins. Baby was innocent, but it didn't matter. God, that's real. That's the responsibilities of being a father. That's the duties of being a father. You got the responsibilities. You have to make sure everything is on point. You got to be able to maintain your house. Scriptures even say, set your house in order. How are you gonna do that when you're being lackadaisical, man? How are you gonna do that? How does that look that you being lackadaisical at the service while your kids acting them up, man? How does it look that you're not being proactive with your child, your son or your child, and teaching them the commandments, playing with your kids, showing them that you're there, you present? That if anybody leaves, I'm not leaving you. I'm gonna be by your side to the end. That's what we gotta be like. And we gotta set a standard for our kids, so when they get older, we teach them to be better than what we was. So when they get children, they do 10 times greater things than what we could ever accomplish. That's the goal for us. When I have kids not being ready and I didn't want to be a deadbeat like mine, that's not the kid's fault. Right, come on. That's so real, man. And Salak, but Nathaniel, do you have the video or no?
Con, I saw the video.
Con, do you mind we watch a little bit of it? Because I actually want to give a shout out to this brother, through we learn information, we get information from the world. So don't get me wrong. There's certain things we could learn from and things that we pick up. And one of the things that I do, I watch this brother. This brother's name is Belief in Fatherhood. He is a Jake, and what his YouTube content is based off of is analyzing his kids as well as analyzing himself as well as his wife. Habits and behaviors of how his children react and how he could change those behaviors and correct those things. So when they get older, they can be productive, civilized children. And I watch him a lot. Some of the things that one day, most I will be able to implement is because of this brother and what he's been what some of the wisdom he's been giving me. He's not in the truth, granted, but you got with this, you got to take some of the the bones out of it. But a lot of it it makes a lot of sense. So let's look at it real quick.
It's impossible to just copy the answer. You can't do that. You have to start a complete sentence. You know what else is hard though? Squats. Let's go do something.
All living my life like it's golden. For many called, but few is chosen. What you do now, tell you who you plan to be. To keep it real, it starts with your family. It's fam. Fam. Hold steady. Grasping black silk takes skill. There's a fine line between being a craftswoman and an artist. God threaded these follicles in your crown, not as a problem for you to solve, or as a mess for you to manage, but as a screen for your thoughts to vibe through as they usher into your imagination. An honest macrame.
If you are a goalkeeping coach who's currently frustrated, maybe because you are coaching for the football club or company that
polished by Earth's essentials, that is meant to be adorned for an audience of self. This is for you. Architects marvel at the design. Surgeons dream of the execution. This takes time and requires your patience. I guess the old sayings are true. Anything worth having is worth waiting for. Your hair is an antenna guiding you to the promised land, your ancestral birthright. Your roots are connected to God. Take advantage of the uninterrupted signal you pick up. Ethernet speeds even if your heart drifts into oblivion. Because the Father is patient.
Put that outside. She's putting six. I need the ball.
Go take it outside. You're supposed to play balls outside.
It's me and I. Oh.
What are you gonna watch?
I want to watch.
It's a lot, Cap. You mind jumping to 404? Because this is when he gets really in depth with his children.
Decided to step in for a moment. The thing is, this season has required a lot of patience from everybody. We're still dealing with the whole Uriah puzzle situation. And while in the middle of 2 bathroom renovations, we discovered we had water damage. So we had to remove some of the floors, which meant we ended up replacing all of the floors downstairs. So now we live in different Airbnbs. And during the day in between work, I show up to the Airbnb to reinforce our current home culture.
Buddy, listen to what I'm telling you right now. Right now, you're trying to find a shortcut, and I'm telling you, there is no shortcut. You didn't copy it. That didn't happen. It's impossible to just copy an answer and write it. Why are you looking at me? Okay. It's impossible to just copy the answer. You can't do that. You have to start a complete sentence. You know what else is hard, though? Squats. Let's go do something.
No.
Yeah. There you go. Let me get 25. That's easy.
1, 2, 3, 4,
Don't bounce.
5.
So we can pause it there out.
All right, so that was easy, right?
But Khan, this beloved brother, I advise, all brothers, that are fathers or looking to become fathers to really look at this brother's YouTube content, because it really gives you a perspective on what it is to be a father and the ideas and the thoughts that come behind, you know, with being a father and the trials and tribulations he went through, you know, dealing with kids and having a wife. So, you know, I advise, I implore you brothers to really take a look, because it could change the dynamic and change the ways of how you deal with your kids. And it taught me a lot, you know, and it got me having ideas or envisioning things of what I want to implement with my kids when I have some, you know. But you know, I want to say all praises to the Most High. You know, I'm glad for everybody for coming out, you know, really taking your time out the day to really, you know, digest these scriptures and really, you know, feast with us spiritually through the scriptures and really get some wisdom, knowledge, and understanding. You know, and you know, I'm sorry, but not sorry to all the brothers that I had to correct, you know, tonight, with the situations of how things are going. All I'm trying to do is show love, and with me showing love is to show, you know, shed a light on things that, you know, may be uncomfortable, you know, to some brothers. It's to show that I really care and I really want us to succeed as a people and to really flourish and blossom as a community and a family, you know. But, you know, I want to say Kwame Asharala, you know, and all praise to the Most High by Shem Mashaki Alshai. You know what I'm saying? Khan.
Hallelujah. Shalom, family. Another Wednesday Wisdom in the Books. See y'all next week. Same time, same place. Hallelujah. All praise be to the power of Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob. Shalom.